My name is Marie Young, and I'm from the Cancer Support Psychology and Social Work team. I'm going to be presenting some research our team did not long after we first started, in around 2016, with the first bit of research. And then we've repeated the audit again of some of the data for a more recent sample of cancer patients. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. So 2 years ago, if you were poor, and you were Maori or Pacific, you were less likely to receive timely cancer treatment than your counterparts. So kind of to get started, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the typical treatment pathway for people who come in with a high suspicion of cancer to the hospital. So generally they have some symptoms, they go to their GP, the GP then sends a referral to the hospital specialist, corresponding to the symptoms. So if they're coughing up blood, or there's a suspect chest x-ray, it's going to go to lung, but something with blood, it might go to haematology. They will then organise a first specialist assessment, and then from there there's usually a reasonable number of diagnostics, scans, biopsies. A decision is then made whether that cancer is going to be treated, and then from there they have their first treatment. So typically surgery or cancer or chemotherapy and radiotherapy. So you may not have heard of faster cancer treatment, but it's something that the Ministry of Health brought in about 5 or so years ago, and it was focused on getting patients through from that high suspicion of cancer to the first treatment in a timely fashion. And so they set a 62-day target, and DHBs are required to report on what percentage of patients are getting through the 62-day target. So that's the point of a referral being received by the hospital, then they need to go through their first assessment, their tests, scans, a decision to treat and start the first treatment in 62 days. So when we first looked at this piece of research, we looked at this time period here, so 2015 February to January 2016. So for that 1 year period, there were 470 people registered on the 62-day pathway. What we then did is we accessed the Faster Cancer Tracking database that Counties holds, and what we could see is that basically 71% of patients meet that 62-day target. So 29% of people were delayed in starting their first treatment. And we wanted to know, are there certain demographics that make someone more likely to not receive timely treatment than their counterparts? So we did various statistical analyses, Z-tests, chi-square and univariate binary logistic regression to get this data. And what we found is that age and gender had no relationship with whether you started your treatment within that 62 days. But those living in the most deprived areas of counties had an odds ratio of 2 times higher than those living in the least deprived areas. So with decile ratings from 1 to 10, 10 is the most deprived. And in fact what we found is that 50% of those registered on that 62-day pathway were in deciles 8 to 10. So over half the patients that we see are living in the most deprived areas of New Zealand, and that happen to be in counties, and that happen to be coming through with needing cancer treatment. We also found a significant relationship to ethnicity. So we classified European other together, and basically 25% of that group failed the 62-day target, jumps to 38% for Pacific people and up to 42% for Māori. So really high disparities in accessing timely treatment. We also had a look at tumour streams. So there's 11 different tumour streams, excluding neurology, because Auckland deals wholly with that, brain cancers and the like. And what we found is when we compared against the best performer, which is skin, these tumour groups are doing significantly worse. And particularly when you look at gynecology, you see that 63% of people are not getting timely treatment compared to someone who has skin cancer. Head and neck, urological, upper GI, which tends to be things like liver, thyroid cancer as well. stomach cancer, pancreatic cancer. So we wanted to see, there's been a lot of initiatives happening in the DHB, and we recorded these findings back and disseminated them quite widely across the hospital into the ministry. And there's been a lot of initiatives trying to target the inequality in accessing cancer treatment. So we thought we should really go back and actually audit what's happened more recently to see if this is still the case. So we really wanted to know, has all these service improvements, and I'll talk about what they are in a minute, actually made a difference? And you know, when you get back some results and you go, oh my gosh, and we checked really carefully, and we were really cautious about looking at the data and checking that it was accurate, and then checking again. And yeah, so things have changed. So this is our results. So firstly, there's a great increase in path rates. So we've gone from 71% to 79%, meeting that 62-day target. Again, age and gender didn't show to be related to whether they met the target or not. Now, there was no relationship with deprivation. And interestingly, when we look at the change for those in decile groups 1 to 3, so those with the lowest deprivation, they didn't really shift much in terms of their improvement. But we look at the 8 to 10 group, and even that middle group too, actually, the 4 to 7s, they make really big gains. So we've pulled up the bottom so that they're getting more equal access to cancer care. And there's no relationship with ethnicity. So we were really, really delighted with that result. There were still 2 tumor streams that were significantly less likely to meet the target. So it had reduced from 6, and the numbers were looking a lot better, particularly gynecology and neurology, which were quite concerning, have done really well. But now again, when we compare the skin, lung and head and neck still have some gains to make. And we know a little bit about why they, in particular, might need to do some more work. So what led to the change? We have our fabulous Murray and Pacific Cancer Nurse coordinators who have really now bedded down into their roles and worked hard on really reaching the more vulnerable groups. And so we think that's probably had quite a significant impact on identifying these patients who need additional support early on. There's been a huge effort on tumour stream pathway improvements. So things like accessing diagnostics, flags and radiology, that this is a patient that needs a quick turnaround. So there's been a lot of pathway work and communication between different departments and between counties at Auckland, where most patients go to get their radiotherapy and chemotherapy. Our team's also now in existence. We'd like to think we made a bit of difference, hopefully, but again, we can't know. And we did a fair push of disseminating our findings across the hospital so that people were really aware that this was an issue of inequity that we needed to address. And the first study was actually just an audit, and it had some guides as to where we might make a difference. The great thing I think about these findings is that it's about giving that feedback, the sustained effort that people have been making, and the persistent effort and the hard work is actually paying off, and to keep that going, because it's actually capturing people that were not getting the treatment that we would hope they would be getting. The head and neck, we know that access to diagnostics still seems to be the issue, and for lung patients, our particular difficulty is getting them from here over to Auckland to receive their first treatment. So that's where kind of the work needs to be on those. We do need to check that we're not disadvantaging 31-day patients. I haven't spoken about them, but I'm running out of time. But 31-day patients are patients who come in often acutely or through a screening program, and from that point go through the first treatment. So we want to make sure that through all this focus on the 62-day patients, we're not making these ones do worse. In our sample size, we have some very small numbers in some of our tumour groups, so we'd love to again be able to combine this with the northern region and be able to say some things with more confidence. You'll notice the title of this talk was "We Do Some Great Work." That actually comes from a wall in the Cancer Support Office. I think this is very key. We're not like we do great work, but we do some great work. The very kind of humble Kiwi approach that you really can't be too skyty. And this is just some of the feedback we put up there with nice things to say about our colleagues. But I think it's a lovely example of counties actually doing something really well and making a difference. It's nice to have a good news story.